There's a level of financial mental strength that makes you seem invincible. And today you'll discover how one man achieved it 400 years ago and how you can do the same with money. Have you ever met someone who doesn't break financially? Who faces market crashes without panic, job loss without despair, unexpected expenses without bargaining with themselves? While everyone else is making excuses to explain their financial failures, while everyone else gives up at the first setback, this person persists. And you know what people say? This guy is lucky. This woman only has money because she inherited it. This guy only got there because he knows the right people. But what many people don't accept is that there's a very high price to pay. Many don't want to pay that price, and they still want to condemn those who are winning financially. However, there was a man in Japan who lived during the Tokugawa era. This man won over 60 duels. He started at age 13 and never lost. His name was Miyamoto Musashi, and he wasn't the wealthiest. He didn't start with money, but he developed something no one could break. A mind that knew no financial hesitation, and principles that knew no limits. Before he died, he wrote it all down in his book, Gorin no Sho, the Book of 5 Rings, and within those pages lies the exact map for how to transform your financial mind into something that people will look at and think, how is that possible? But there's a catch. Musashi's method isn't about motivation. It's about elimination. He didn't build strength by adding things. He built it by removing everything that was getting in the way. Before I show you exactly how this system works for money, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment. What's your biggest financial mental weakness that you want to eliminate? Fear of investing? Impulse spending? Financial anxiety? This really helps the channel reach more people. Plus, I enjoy reading all the comments and interacting with you. Thank you very much for your attention. Back to the video. Chapter 1, The Awakening. The story I'm going to tell you today begins with a guy named Michael, an accountant, 34 years old, married with 2 kids, a normal guy, a normal life, normal financial problems. But Michael had a specific problem. He was financially weak, not just in his bank account, mentally, too. He woke up every day promising to stick to his budget. He created budgets 3 times, abandoned all 3 within weeks. He started saving on Monday and spent it all by Wednesday. He promised to track his expenses, but never opened the app. The pattern was always the same. Strong financial intention, weak execution. And that wasn't the only thing that was worse. When unexpected expenses came, he'd freeze up and put them on credit cards. When he needed to have a difficult conversation with his wife about money, he'd put it off. When his children asked about college savings, he changed the subject. Michael was living on financial autopilot, reacting, never acting. Until the day he had a panic attack looking at his credit card statement. He was alone in his home office. He opened the statement. $18,412. The room began to spin. His heart raced. His hands sweated. He had to leave the room. He went to a financial therapist. Tests were normal. The diagnosis? Financial anxiety and lack of financial mental fitness. The therapist, Dr. Chun, said something that changed everything. Dr. Chun told him, your body is responding to financial threats that you've created through years of avoidance. Your mind isn't trained to distinguish real financial danger from discomfort. You need to train your financial nervous system. Michael returned home and began researching how to build real financial mental strength. That's when he discovered Miyamoto Musashi. And more specifically, he discovered that Musashi didn't write a philosophy book. He wrote a manual of warfare applied to life. Michael realized this can be applied to money. Chapter 2, The Principle of Elimination. The first thing Michael read in the Book of 5 Rings was something that seemed contradictory. Have no preferences. Do not depend on any particular weapon. He didn't understand at first. How do you become financially strong without having a preference? How do you master money without depending on a specific strategy? Then came Musashi's explanation, which Michael read carefully. The book said, "Your strength cannot depend on perfect conditions. If you can only save when you have extra income, you are weak. If you can only invest when the market is up, you are weak. If you can only budget when life is stable, you are weak." True financial strength is the ability to manage money in any condition. Musashi practiced with wooden swords, metal swords, 2 swords, 1 sword, no sword at all. He fought day and night, in sun, in rain, in cold, in heat. Why? Because the enemy doesn't wait for you to be ready. Michael realized he was the opposite of that. He could only save when he got bonuses. He could only budget if his wife reminded him. He could only invest when he felt confident about the market. All his financial discipline depended on external factors. So he did what Musashi taught. He eliminated dependencies. It started small. Daily financial awareness. No apps required. No perfect budget. Nothing needed. Just awareness and one decision. He chose one financial practice every day. Track one expense. Save $1. Review one account. Anytime. Any place. Any conditions. The first week was easy. The second week, unexpected car repairs came. The third week, he traveled for work and lost his routine. The fourth week, his daughter got sick and medical bills piled up. This is where he always gave up before. But this time, he remembered Musashi's principle. Practice must continue regardless of circumstances. Traveling? Michael tracked expenses on his phone notes. Car repairs? He still saved $1 that day. Medical bills? He reviewed his account for 5 minutes before bed. No energy? Track one expense, but never zero. Chapter 3. Heijoshin, the Still Mind. By day 40, Michael was tracking expenses automatically, but his mind was still a mess. Anxiety about debt, worry about retirement, fear of not providing for his family. He was getting stronger financially in practice, but mentally he was still fragile. It was then that he encountered the concept that Musashi considered more important than any fighting technique. Heijoshin, the everyday mind, the mind that does not change. Musashi wrote, "At the moment of battle, your mind should be exactly the same as your mind when you are drinking tea. No excitement. No fear, just presence." Michael thought, how is this possible? How do you stay calm when your credit card bill arrives? How do you not panic when the market crashes? Musashi's answer was brutal in its simplicity. You train your mind not to react. You don't suppress financial fear. You become someone who doesn't need to react to financial fear. Michael began testing this. Every time he felt financial anxiety rising when opening bills, when checking his investment accounts, when his wife mentioned money, he did one thing. He took a deep breath and observed the sensation without reacting to it. It sounds simple, but it was torture at first. His body wanted to close the app, avoid the conversation, distract himself with spending. But he just watched. He'd think to himself, my heart is racing. My hands are sweating. My stomach is tight. Just observation, no judgment, no reaction. The first time it worked was when he got an email that his rent was increasing by $200 per month. The old pattern was panic, immediate stress, calling his wife in a panic. This time, Michael felt the fear coming on. He recognized it, and he calmly opened his spreadsheet to adjust his budget. His voice didn't shake when he told his wife. His hands didn't sweat. He said clearly, "Our rent is increasing. I've already adjusted our budget. We'll reduce dining out by $100 and entertainment by $100. Problem solved." His wife, Sarah, was shocked. She asked him, "Are you okay? Usually you panic about money changes." Michael replied, "I'm fine. I just stopped reacting and started responding." Sarah didn't fully understand, but she could see he'd changed. Michael knew what had happened. He had accessed Heijoshin for the first time, the financial mind that doesn't move. A neuroscientist at Stanford University who has been studying financial behavior for 18 years explains, when you practice non-reactive observation of financial anxiety, you are literally rewiring your amygdala. Over time, the activation threshold increases. What once triggered panic now triggers only recognition. Chapter 4. Senshi Nitrogen Monoxide, Nietzsche, The Way of the Warrior. But Musashi knew that a calm mind without financial capability is an illusion. You can have perfect emotional control about money, but if you don't have financial skills, you lose. He wrote, "Train hard to strengthen the body. When the body is weak, the mind wavers. When the body is strong, the mind remains firm." Michael had been tracking expenses for 60 days. He had gotten better at awareness, but he hadn't yet tested his financial skills under extreme conditions. Musashi didn't train in comfort. He trained to the limit and then went beyond. So Michael created his own financial trial by fire. Voluntary financial discomfort. Month 3. He cut his discretionary spending by 50%. Not because he had to, because he chose to train in scarcity. No restaurants, no entertainment subscriptions, no impulse purchases, just necessities. His friends thought he was crazy. His wife, Sarah, asked him, "Why are we doing this?" "We can afford these things," Michael explained. "I'm training my financial discipline. If I can only save when I have excess income, I'm weak. I need to prove I can save in any condition." Sarah was skeptical, but agreed to try it for 3 months. The first week was uncomfortable. The second week was painful. By the third week, Michael's mind started rebelling. Every commercial seemed to target him. Every friend's invitation required spending money he'd restricted. Every weekend felt empty without entertainment. But this is exactly what Musashi trained for. Discomfort is where mental strength is built. Michael kept a journal. Every day he wrote, "Today I chose discipline over comfort. Today I proved I am stronger than my impulses." By day 90, something incredible happened. The restrictions didn't feel like restrictions anymore. They felt like freedom. Freedom from needing external entertainment. Freedom from emotional spending. Freedom from the constant pull of consumerism. Michael had saved $4,200 in 3 months. More than he'd saved in the previous 2 years combined. But more importantly, he'd built something Musashi called Heijoshin, the immovable mind. Chapter 5. The Unexpected Test. Day 105. Michael got called into his boss's office unexpectedly. His boss, Mr. Patterson, sat him down and said, "Michael, I need to talk to you about something difficult. We're restructuring the department. Your position is being eliminated. Today is your last day." The old Michael would have panicked, frozen, gone into financial terror. But something different happened. Michael felt the shock. He recognized it. And then his mind went completely still. He looked at Mr. Patterson calmly and asked, "What's the severance package?" Mr. Patterson, surprised by Michael's composure, explained the details. 4 weeks of pay. Benefits through the end of the month. Michael responded, "I understand. Thank you for the 4 years here. I'll have my desk cleared by end of day." He walked back to his desk and continued working on his final tasks. His colleagues who had been laid off along with him were in a panic. They were calling home crying. Paralyzed, Michael was calm. Not because he didn't care, but because he had developed something Musashi called Heijoshin, the still mind. The mind that is unshaken by external circumstances. Musashi wrote, "The tree is quiet, but not because of the absence of wind. It is quiet because its roots are deep." Michael's roots had grown deep. 105 days of flawless financial practice. 105 days of emotional observation without reaction. 105 days of continuous awareness. When the storm hit, he didn't break, because he'd already been tested 1,000 times in small ways. Over the next 30 days, while everyone else was panicking, Michael was in action. He updated his resume. He activated his network. He went on interviews. He negotiated calmly, without desperation, from a position of financial strength because he had savings. By day 23, he had 3 job offers. He chose the best one. He left his old company earning 40% more. The colleagues who panicked, they were still unemployed 3 months later. A sports psychologist who has worked with Olympic athletes for 15 years explains the difference between those who perform under financial pressure and those who collapse isn't talent. It's how much time they spent deliberately exposing themselves to financial discomfort. Financial resilience isn't something you have. It's something you build, repetition by repetition. Chapter 6. Heiho, the strategy of void. But Musashi had one last principle that was the most difficult to understand and the most powerful to apply. Financially, Heiho, the strategy of emptiness. He wrote, "In combat, do not intend to win. Intend not to lose." It seems like the same thing, but it is not. When you fight to win financially, you create openings. You take excessive risks. You chase returns. You expose yourself to catastrophic loss. When you fight not to lose financially, you remain whole, without gaps, without weakness. Michael applied this to his new job and his finances. Instead of trying to impress everyone with aggressive investing and lifestyle inflation, he simply didn't make financial mistakes. He saved 30% of every paycheck. He invested in index funds, not individual stocks. He didn't buy a new car, even though he could afford it. He didn't upgrade his house. He didn't create financial drama. 3 months later, while his colleagues who got raises immediately inflated their lifestyles, Michael was building wealth silently. His new boss, Linda, noticed. She told him in a one-on-one, "You're not the flashiest person on the team, but you're the most financially stable." And stability in personal finances translates to stability in work performance. Michael replied simply, "I learned from Musashi. You don't have to be the richest. You have to have no financial weaknesses. That's Heiho. You don't have to make the most money. You have to have no holes in your financial foundation." Musashi never lost a duel, not because he was stronger or faster. He never lost because he never gave an opening. He studied his opponent, waited for a mistake, and executed. Absolute efficiency, zero waste. Michael began to apply this to everything in his budget. He didn't try to optimize every category perfectly. He simply never overspent. In his investing, he didn't try to beat the market. He simply never panic sold. In his spending, he didn't try to be perfectly frugal. He simply never bought things impulsively. No weaknesses. No loopholes. No excuses. Chapter 7. Sutemi, letting go of the self. 6 months after beginning his journey, Michael was unrecognizable. Financially stronger, mentally unbreakable, emotionally stable about money. But he had one final barrier. He was still afraid, not of external financial things, but of something internal. Afraid that if he stopped tracking for a day, everything would fall apart. Afraid that all this financial strength was fragile, temporary. That's when he encountered Musashi's ultimate concept, Sutemi, abandoning the self. Musashi wrote his final words shortly before he died. "I regret nothing. I fear nothing. I desire nothing." Michael thought, how does one get to this level financially? How do you completely abandon financial fear? Musashi's answer was the most radical. You stop identifying with the outcome. You are not your net worth. You are not your salary. You are simply the continuous practice. Michael tested this in an extreme way. He stopped checking his net worth daily. He stopped celebrating financial milestones. He stopped posting about money wins on social media. He removed all external validation. The tracking continued. The saving continued. The investing continued, but now without ego, without the need for recognition, without the fear of losing what had been built. Because he finally understood. You can't lose what you are. You can only lose what you have. If your financial strength depends on maintaining a specific net worth, you'll fear market crashes. If your financial strength is who you've become, nothing can take that away from you. And it was at that exact moment that something scary happened. People started avoiding financial conversations with Michael, not because he was arrogant, not because he was preachy, but because his financial presence was uncomfortable. When you eliminate financial fear, hesitation, and the need for validation, you become a mirror. People look at you and see everything they're not financially, and that hurts. His coworkers stopped complaining about money around him. His friends stopped making jokes about being broke. His own family started commenting, "You're getting too serious about money," because his existence proves that everything they say is financially impossible is just uncomfortable. Chapter 8. The Complete Transformation. A year after starting, Michael was no longer Michael. Not in the sense that he had changed his personality, but in the sense that he had removed everything financially non-essential. He was no longer someone who tried to be financially disciplined. He was someone who couldn't be financially undisciplined. Financial practice wasn't something he did. It was who he was. Musashi called this Kenzen Ichi. The sword and Zen are one. There is no separation between who you are and what you practice. You don't budget. You are budgeting. You don't save. You are saving. You don't invest. You are investing. People would ask Michael, "How do you have so much financial discipline?" The answer was simple. He'd reply, "I have no discipline. I've eliminated the parts of me that wanted to spend impulsively. I've eliminated the parts that feared investing. I've eliminated the parts that avoided financial reality." This is what Musashi taught. Financial mental strength isn't about adding things. It's about removing everything that gets in the way of your essential financial nature. You don't need to motivate yourself to breathe. You don't need to force your heart to beat. Why? Because these things are essential to who you are. When saving, investing, and financial awareness become as integrated as breathing, you've reached the scary level. The level where people look at you financially and think, "That's not normal." And the truth? They're right. It's not normal in the sense of average. It's normal in the sense of realized financial potential. Miyamoto Musashi died at the age of 62, alone in a cave, writing. No title, no followers. But he had something no one could take away. Complete mastery over himself. His last words were, "I regret nothing." How many people can say that financially? How many people reach the end and know they lived at the limit of their financial capabilities? How many have eliminated financial fear, hesitation, weakness? The question is not how did Musashi do it? The question is, why aren't you doing it financially? You have access to the same knowledge. You have the same number of hours in the day. You have the same human capacity for discipline. The difference isn't ability. It's willingness to do what's necessary. A willingness to eliminate financial dependencies. A willingness to practice until practice becomes financial identity. A willingness to abandon everything financially that isn't essential. This scary level of financial mental strength isn't for everyone, not because it's impossible, but because it's uncomfortable. And most people choose financial comfort over financial capability. But you're not the majority. If you've watched this far, you've already proven that. The question now is, what are you going to do with this information? If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, activate the bell, and leave a like. And tell me in the comments, what's the first financial weakness you'll eliminate? What's the first financial dependency you'll remove? Remember, the financial mental strength that scares others is the only strength worth having. Ancient principles, modern prosperity.